The following is a semi-professional attempt at humor. The jokes contained within are intended for a mature audience. Not 18, we aren't cops, but we will occasionally say things that you find offensive. If you do get offended by our videos, make sure to keep any hate in the comments section where it belongs, or write about it on your blog. Above all else, try to have fun and remember, nothing matters. Alrighty, welcome back to another exciting episode of Nihilhalla. This is the SR-71, based very, very fucking loosely on the SR-71. I say very loosely because, of course, the SR-71 had only two engines, and they were basically wing-mounted engines that the fuselage was molded around. The lifting body was designed to go into incredibly high atmosphere, but still be an air-breathing engine, and as you can see here, these are LVT-30s. These are liquid rockets. So, we are going to try an orbit Kerbal with this space plane. 3, 2, 1...
Blast off!
There we go.
Okay. Blast off?
Yes, blast off.
Oh, okay.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
Oh man, this is a cute little game. Like,
I'm very pleased with it, honestly.
yeah. Like, little faces.
Oh god, if you think that's funny, like from that angle, we can go into the actual craft and look at Bill's face, and like, excuse all the graphical glitches and such, but like, we can look at Bill's face, and then...
That's kind of adorable that they put that a bit of a mechanic into there.
We are not gaining very much altitude.
I thought this one was going to make it to orbit.
This one is going to make it to orbit, but like, we need to go up more.
Oh, yeah. Shouldn't those be on fire?
Yeah, they are on fire. It's just I turned off the afterburn.
Oh.
And like what I'm trying to figure out right now is like I'm looking at the airspeed and the air intake, or sorry, air intake and airspeed, because I have to keep an eye on that. Because if that drops for any reason, then my air-breathing engines are not going to work as well. And if my air-breathing engines aren't working as well, I am fuckered. Like, I will not be going to space that day.
So in like the campaigning mode, we were talking about that a little bit. Like, do you?
Yeah, you start with a very small selection of parts and like a shoestring budget, and you have to basically build your space empire, like your space exploration program, from the ground up. And
is there only pretty much one story, or?
There's not even really a story. You take contracts, and you complete contracts to get money, which allows you to buy more parts, and put more parts on the same craft, and upgrade facilities so that you can get more parts on the same craft. And then you progressively achieve more and more complex contracts until you've had your fill of the game, or have completed all the available contracts for that week or whatever, and then you come back to it like a month later after a new update and see what's changed and how much harder the game's gotten or how much easier the game's gotten, and give it another go. It's very much an engineer's sandbox for the most part, but they put a campaign in it, like the quote-unquote campaign mode is building your empire from the ground up. It's not very much the traditional sense of a campaign where it's like, oh, follow this storyline.
No, I get that. Like, the story itself is getting to space, like...
Yeah. And, like, one of the things I absolutely love about this game is that the campaign mode is basically there if you want an additional challenge.
Yeah. Do they release all the parts, like, in the sandbox mode, or do you have to earn those? Or?
Yeah. All the parts are available in sandbox mode. There's three modes. There's campaign, which is you have limited funds, and limited science, and you have to earn science and funds in order to get new parts and new capabilities for new spacecraft, etc. And then there's a science mode, which is you have unlimited funds, and I believe your facilities are already upgraded to max, but you have to earn the science points to unlock new parts.
Okay.
So you have to like complete scientific objectives, like you have to land on the moon, you have to orbit this planet, etc., take crew reports, take surface samples, etc., to earn science, and then bring it all back to Kerbal or transmit the data remotely and get the science points to do that.
I wish science was a currency.
Right?
I will trade these sciences for your candy.
Oh my god. I would love it if science was a currency. Like, I will have 100 sciences worth of cybernetics, please. Like,
one day.
yeah, I know. Like, I cannot wait until transhumanism becomes a thing.
It's like, it's weird seeing humanity go in different directions on that right now. Like, I don't know. Everybody seems to be on the robotic kick again. I'm like, no, put the robot parts on us.
Well, I mean, we have to make the robot before we can put the robot on us, you know what I mean?
Nah.
I mean, it's a good idea to do it that way.
I kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the guy who has the, basically it's like a jacket. He doesn't have either of his limbs. I don't know via, war veteran accident or just wasn't born with them, but pretty much like these working limbs that the controls are like in his feet. And like his shoes like sensor pads, and it has the nimbleness to like pluck grapes and feed them to him.
I have not seen that.
It's pretty brilliant. Like, I'm sure you guys could like YouTube augmented arms or something, armless guy with robot arms. Like it's pretty amazing to see like robotics come that far. I'm sure it's all still very much in testing, but he even like goes to describe how he gets like the phantom limb feeling. Like, he's like, I feel like they're my arms, and I was like, that's like really cool. Here's a person who's lost their ability to whatever. Oh jeez, that was my bone. I made that pop.
That's your what?
My bone.
What bone?
Like in my back. Like,
oh Jesus, I felt that in the floor, dude.
Yeah. And it's just neat stuff like that, seeing how people get by. I remember when Deus Ex Machina, when the latest one came out, and they had like a whole little YouTube series on augmented humans, like the guy with the bionic eye that was also a camera. And
oh, they're still doing that.
Oh, they still do that series?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really cool.
I've liked them on Facebook, the Deus Ex team or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked them on Facebook, and they actually still do that. Like, they still have like new advances in like augmentation of human bodies and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. We are not gonna orbit today, I don't think.
But we're in space.
Not yet. Space doesn't really start until 70 grand here.
Okay.
And we're at 40 grand, and we're not going anywhere near fast enough.
How much more fuel do you have?
Not enough, because I'm about to run out of oxidizer, and the air breathers are already dead. So, yeah, we're not going to space today. But I do have an idea that might get us into space.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we could land this, but I'm just going to revert because I've got an idea that'll get us into space.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going to go to space.
No one will get that reference.
No one will get the reference that, like, fucking everybody played. For anybody asking, no, we're not going to play Portal on the show.
Ugh.
Because you've played Portal. You've seen people play Portal.
I wonder, like, wouldn't that be a fun thing? Anybody in the comments able to put, like, how many, like, different Let's Plays of Portal they have found. I wonder if that is not, nay, one of the most Let's Played, like, games out there.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I liked Portal. It was a fun game. It did a lot for the gaming industry in terms of, like, physics programming and puzzles, like puzzle games and shit like that. But, honestly, overdone. Really.
I kind of, I'm not saying it's a bad game either. It's just one of those things. Oh my god, here's where we get all the hate that we've really been deserving. We're saying we're not giving Portal, its undying praise. My thing is, it just like overall, it felt like it just a shiny Flash game.
Oh, you are gonna get crucified for that.
I don't care. Like, it was fun, but it just, there was so much hype. You know, when I feel like I've played so many things like that.
I feel like 2 was better than 1.
The co-op made it much better.
Well, no, not even the co-op. I'm talking about just like from a gameplay point of view, like the mechanic of having to spread goo on everything so that you could like put portals on previously unportable surfaces. Like, that whole concept to me was awesome. But like, seriously, overdone. Like,
it's just one of those things, like, it got hyped so hard. And we will talk more about like this on the next episode of Nihilhalla.
See you next time, guys.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, welcome back to Nihilhalla, and we're pretty much exactly where we left off. I am still building this space plane with its final modification, I hope, that will actually let us get to space.
But after I've sifted through all this shit posting on like Portal, when I was talking about games that like did way too much hype, like, I don't know if you remember when the Dante's Inferno game was like being made.
I vaguely remember
that game got so much fucking hype. Like, they gave people so many like little toys and shit, and so many like releases and shit they left like all around different places. And I think like one of the thing was, I don't know if it's true or not, but it was something along the lines like they sent somebody a $10,000 check
just to buy the game.
No, like, it was something like they got a $10,000 check to either to give to a charity or take for themselves. But it was kind of like a thing of like, oh, what's your morality choice? Are you going to take the dirty money? Like, you know, like one of those deals.
Would it be dirty money? I mean, if somebody cut them a check, it's not really dirty money.
I don't know. They like did a whole bunch of hype to be like, oh, this game's going to be about sin and fucking weird shit. And
okay, anybody who's actually read Dante's Inferno knows
no,
that,
like
it's
I'm not trying to shit on the Divine Comedy. It's the point I'm trying to get at. It's amazing how something like that got so much hype and they put so much extra shit with it, and it wasn't that good of a game. Like, it was just your typical like action hack and slash type, you know, fucking game that cost 50, 60 whatever dollars that you know you could beat in an afternoon.
I hate those.
Do you get the point I'm making though? Like,
yeah, more or less.
Where the game's like, you're like, oh, it's gonna be Devil May Cry 3, like, kind of felt like that way for me. Like, I know there was a lot of replay value, but it was like, I was like, huh, I could beat this in an afternoon.
The special edition of Devil May Cry 3 was vastly superior because you could play as Virgil.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and Virgil was the...
Can we play that on the show, man?
I don't know if I have it. I mean, I could probably get it, but like... I've got DMC4, which is absolutely terrible because they added Dante again and just they called him Nero.
Oh, all right.
Like, if you haven't played DMC4, you're really not missing much, but like, it's pretty bad. So if I've done this right, and I'm pretty sure I haven't, but if I have, then what I am going to effectively do here is when these rockets separate, these little separatrons, which is what they're called, are going to fire.
The little, like, long dongs?
No, not when the big ones separate, these little guys that I've strapped to them will speed them away from the main craft.
Okay.
Allowing the main craft to break free and clear. This is similar to how the actual solid rocket boosters that were attached to the space shuttle would break away. And if I've done this right, again, pretty sure I haven't, but if I've done this right, we should be able to launch straight up and then use the space plane itself to bring us around to orbit. And this is sort of cheating, because most space planes take off horizontally in Kerbal Space Program, but I have such a tight tolerance on this one, I did not like how much that wiggled. I have such a tight tolerance on this one, I'd rather try it the cheap way and see if it works. but so far so good. I don't mind if I edge towards 90 degrees, because 90 degrees is actually east. And since the planet rotates in a certain direction, if I fly into the east, I'm actually flying around the planet as it's rotating. It works out. I just hope these Separatrons actually work the way they're supposed to. And I don't get absolutely destroyed here.
It's just like all's going well now, right? Like,
yeah, well, okay. Have you seen The Martian? I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
No, I have not.
There's a really good line in The Martian that I take to heart. And it's basically about Murphy's Law.
oh, like whatever. Can't go wrong, will go wrong. Yay! Did it work?
Not as intended, but that looks fucking cool.
Are you fucked?
No, but the air breathers are still not working. So that's kind of problematic. And the ailerons are sort of working. Yeah, okay, now they're doing their job.
You just kind of flip. Oh. Malfunction?
Not exactly.
Okay.
We're up high enough that the air breathers don't have any air to breathe.
So there's just a shitload of fuel.
Yeah, so we kind of need to get going in a direction to get them some air.
And then you're going to try to, like, reboost back up into orbit?
Actually, it doesn't look like we're going to need to. We might just go ahead and say fuck the air breathers and go with the liquid rocket from the get-go. And we'll use the air breathers for our approach back down to Kerbal. So for those of you who are familiar with Kerbal Space Program, yes, what I'm doing right now is a horrible idea. I'm at full boost, boosting directly at the horizon. I have not yet hit my apoapsis. Yeah, this is a terrible plan in most scenarios. I don't have a whole shitload of fuel, so the more time I spend up here, the worse things will get for me. Like, basically, if I don't get the apoapsis stabilized and don't get circularized before I run out of fuel, then I am basically not going to be up here very long. And I also need to start, like, actually gaining altitude, or else the apoapsis is going to crash, and then I'm going to have a real fucking problem. And so far we are going to die.
It looked like shit was going good.
Yeah, shit is sort of going good. It's just not going as good as I'd like it to be. You know how it is. I'm a perfectionist, man. Oh, yeah!
Yeah, because we could see that through your other fucking rockets that you made.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes a perfectionist has to cut loose, man. Blow shit up every once in a while. It's good for you. Oh, 2,200 meters per second is our target number for anybody that doesn't know. And we are almost there, but I think we're going to end up being short on liquid fuel, which sucks, because we were almost there. Yeah, we ran out of oxidizer. So we got really fucking close, and we're basically going to have made a trip from right about here. This is where the Kerbal Space Center is, and we should land somewhere over here. So basically a quarter of the way around the planet. Now the good news is we can sort of speed up time, and then when we start to re-enter, atmospheric physics will take over. And we can kick those back off. Yeah, atmospheric physics will kick back over. We will start to get oxygen back into our air breathers, which are currently on. And we will actually be able to... Oh, god damn it, that is infuriating. So we're actually almost doing the speed we would need to be doing to circularize properly, but I didn't have enough fuel to keep it going, and some of that may be my own damn fault. Oh God.
Is the fire going to be bad? Well,
answers that question, right? All right, let's give this one more shot. That was only about 8 minutes of footage.
One more. We got time.
Yeah. Let's give this one more try.
Just one little. I did like when the little like fucking wing dings spun off.
Yeah, no. That went very different than expected, but I'm not mad because it worked. Ideally, you would have one of these on each side so that they would break off and just like peel off away from the ship.
So that's something else too, man. Like, you seem to kind of I have no idea. You seem to know like a fair little bit about aeronautics, maybe, and rockets. How well does the game like teach you about that stuff to like kind of get going? Like, I mean, can somebody just have fun with this with like zero to little like knowledge?
A little bit. The game teaches you. First of all, it is very unforgiving in terms of like fuck ups. I mean, you have the ability to revert back to launch, so it's basically an undo button for everything that you've worked on. But like, the game, generally speaking, is very unforgiving as for like problematic occurrences while you're flying. So
that's so fucking cool. Still, sorry.
But like in terms of like what it teaches you, you learn a lot about orbital mechanics, because one thing that I learned from this game was that orbital mechanics do not work anywhere near like what I thought they did. I thought orbital mechanics was like, oh, you boost straight up and then you boost around the planet until you're in a circle.
Oh, so like the game actually like taught you a bit and like you feel like you learned something?
Yeah, I learned through experimenting, but yeah. The thing that I learned the most is that you basically have to assume the absolute worst outcome and then be prepared for that and then hope for a better outcome. So pessimism is one of the things this game teaches you.
I just, I kind of like, I think about, I don't know why shit like this makes me happy and makes me think of like fun stuff. I kind of like to think of kids playing video games like this and getting interested in science, the feel goods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or like just people in general getting interested into like more sciencey stuff and enjoying a game while doing it.
The thing that I like most about this game is that it taught me something. Like, if a game can legitimately teach me something, and I'm not talking about life lessons, I'm talking about like
actual sciencey things. And,
if a game can legitimately teach me something new, I typically respect the game more. And
oh no, definitely. Like, I mean, it's nice to get the feel goods and have the wheel of morality fucking going on in your head, and we all like to learn our lessons. But I agree with you very much on the learny thing. Kind of the like, oh, you cheeky devils, you tricked me into learning.
Yeah, what I was saying about orbital mechanics, though, one thing I didn't know about orbital mechanics, I thought in order to escape a planet, it was easier to just burn away from it.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say the space station, ISS, was in an orbit around Earth, which it currently is.
Okay.
And we wanted to move it out of Earth's orbit.
All right.
Now, most people... and including myself before I played Kerbal Space Program, like seriously, would have thought, oh, well, we'll just take like a rocket and set it under, basically fire a rocket from the Earth side of the space station to push it out into space. And that's actually not true. If you were to speed it up on Earth's orbit, the orbit that it was currently going on, and fire it basically in the same orbit, just getting it going faster and faster, it would eventually gravitate out to the point where it was farther away and still circular.
Oh.
Which is something that I've had to do many a time in this game in order to get an orbit that didn't suck. Alright. So this time we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to burn at prograde, just below prograde, and actually zip past the apoapsis and try to get going that much faster, that much quicker, to try and produce a periapsis, or a lowest point of orbit, on the opposite side of the planet as quickly as possible. And we're going to actually slow down our burn a little bit so that we don't run out of fuel so quick. because we're still accelerating, and that's the goal, is to keep accelerating while trying to stay above 70 grand.
The music is pleasant.
It is. Once you get into outer space, the music is very chill and relaxed.
Let's run this one a little while. Finish this mission. Seems like it's going well.
Nope, we just ran out of oxidizer.
Shit. Shows me for talking.
Well, I mean, we can still try and land the space plane, I guess, and then we can call it quits on Kerbal Space Program for this series. We might come back to this later after an update or something, but...
Oh yeah, as always, tell us what you think. As I said, I really enjoy games like this that, kind of faking learning. Oh yeah, who made this, by the way?
Squad Software, which is interesting because Squad is actually not specifically a software development company. They're actually an advertising company based in Mexico. But one of the things they do is that after you've got a certain amount of time in the company, they will give you a project. Like, you can fund whatever project you want.
Really?
Within a certain price point. And one of the guys was a programmer, and he says, I kind of want to make a game.
And they said, fuck it, here you go.
Yeah, and this is apparently not even close to what the company does as a general rule. But this one guy programmed this entire game when it was first launched. And then they gave him a development team because it did really well and like raked in a whole bunch of money for the advertising company. Which, I mean, say what you will about advertising companies, it's actually really cool that they did this, and this game is great. It's worth every penny of $30, in my opinion.
I mean, way for, like, a bigger company or whatever. I don't know what size they are, but, like, kind of break the mold and reward your employees and be like, yeah, man, all right, we'll give you a shot. Take a risk.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish more companies did that.
No, yeah, like have a little, oh no, you're letting your advertisers try and be creative every once in a while to help sell your stuff.
I feel like without doing that, advertisement wouldn't be anywhere near the multi-million-dollar industry that it is.
Well, I'd like to think well...
I guess it's too steep coming in. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I need to put some radiators on there. Yeah. It's been fun, nondescripts. I guess we'll come back to this another time after an update or when I get better, whichever happens first. Probably the update. But we hope you had fun, and if you guys want to see more of this, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And if you have any of your own videos, by all means, put them in the comments section.
Don't forget your fuck you Tyler flags.
Oh, yes. If you make it to Minmus, the exact specifications of the mission, we had one of the big orange tanks, which I'll show you the mission real quick, I guess, because that's really not that hard to do. I'll show you the exact construction that I had, and if you can do it better than I did with the same amount of fuel, please do. And then, by all means, if you land on Minmus, I want a screenshot of your Fuck You Tyler flag. But this is the full mission here.
Oh man, what about Fuck You Tyler shirts?
I don't know. I don't want to shit on him too much. I mean, he is our friend. But
well, yeah. I mean, we might even bring him on the show. You know what I mean? But like,
so this is a lander stage at the very top.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a lander stage at the very top, and there's a coupler here for Jeb to move into the lander so that he could land on Minmus. And then this capsule seats 3 so that I could still have 2 people piloting the other vessel.
Yeah.
Reaction wheel, decoupler, one of the size 2 Rockomax tanks. This is a skipper engine. We've got the big orange Jumbo 64 Rockomax tank, and then underneath that is the mainsail. We've got 6 docking clamps at the base, 6 solid fuel boosters, which are the kickback solid fuel boosters, Rockomax decoupler, of course. And yeah, we made it to Minmus and back. The capsule here, just this section, the final stage as it were, was all that made it back to Kerbin. It made it back with all 3 Kerbals, and it took 147 days. If you can do it faster, if you can do it with less fuel, if you can do it more efficiently in any way.
Hell, even if it's prettier.
Yeah, even if it's prettier. By all means, we want to see that shit. But other than that, nondescripts, have a wonderful day. Thanks for sticking with us on this magical journey into space, and we hope to see what you've got in store for us, and we hope to hear from you. Until next time.